next one that we're going to move on to now is the air barrier containment test. Now, to me, this is probably the most important test that we do, because if you're a laboratory technician and you're sitting in front of the cabinet, this is the test that is going to give you the confidence that you're working in front of something that's safe. So if you're working on something dangerous, the thing that you want to be really sure about is the air barrier containment test. Okay, so now Curtis has got his test rig set up. This is the air barrier containment test. To me, this is the most important test. If I'm a scientist, I'm sitting in front of this and I'm working on something hazardous, I want to know that everything I'm working on is contained within this cabinet. And I must say, the Australian barrier test is probably the most stringent containment test that is available for a cabinet. So we're going to demonstrate that test now.
Okay, as you can see, instead of having the aerosol hose, release hose, being outside the cabinet, it's on the inside. We're testing, as Scott was saying, the containment of the cabinet. In this case, any contamination coming out of the cabinet and testing how much is coming out. We're testing our photometers connected to an outside sampling point, and the aerosol hose is being released from the inside. As you can see, we've got a stationary rig. That means that the technician can step away and you can clearly observe without any interference from them reaching through the barrier to see if it's doing something. Some people will do it freehand, but the requirement is standard. Best practice is to do it with a stand so it's freestanding. The aerosol is released 25 mil from the bottom edge of the sash, and the aerosol hose is 25 mil. The center of the aerosol hose is 25 mil down from the bottom of the sash as well. The sampling point is 50 mil from the outside of the sash, so a combined 75 mil between the release point and the sampling point. Each of the sample points across the sash, starting from 50 mil from the side and 100 mil centers across. Again, you're releasing for 10 seconds, and if you get an intermittent leakage detection, you've got to do it for 30 seconds to confirm it's not an ongoing issue. If you do find an ongoing issue, fan speeds like the exhaust fan speed will need to be adjusted to achieve a greater barrier.
So Curtis, just before we get this test started again, for us as technicians as well, like if we're installing a cabinet for the first time, under 2252 Part 4, which is a new version coming out soon, but that's the installation and use of a cabinet. This is one of the tests that is going to fail if the cabinet's been put in a poor location. So it could be anything like a supply air grill, a door, a thoroughfare. All of these types of things have the potential to make this test fail, which is one of the reasons why I like it as well, because not every location is going to be the best location to keep a cabinet safe. So when you're installing a cabinet, we might have to relocate some supply air grills, and architects are always asking, how close can we have a door to a cabinet? So there's a lot of stuff coming out in the new 2252 Part 4. It's going to be out for public draft shortly.
Yeah, correct, Scott. We rely on the calibrated pieces of equipment to give us an absolute accurate test reading, but you can see pretty quickly with a barrier test on a cabinet how strong it is and whether it's going to pass or fail pretty quickly. So I'm going to turn it on now. And I'm not sure whether you can see it or not, but the aerosol is not penetrating past the glass, it's going straight down into the grill, which is exactly what you want. The photometer is reading no aerosol leakage. And we would do this as mentioned before, 10 seconds at each point, then moving along 100 mil to the next point, and you do that across the whole of this sash opening.